first picked up the guitar, I think, about 14 maybe, yeah. Yeah, started playing then. Did music at school and stuff, but I wasn't much good at it at the time. It was like 22% was my exam result, you know. But I suppose like I started getting into it more after that, 15, 16, taking it a wee bit more serious then.
So when did you start writing songs?
Well, I was a lot older, you know. I used to played in some blues bands and stuff when I was younger, you know. But it was mostly covers, you know, that I was doing at the time. Took a lot of time away from it, away from the guitar. Yeah, I wasn't that ambitious, I don't think, when I was in my 20s, you know. Got into my 20s, wasn't that ambitious about playing really. And took time away from it, maybe just sit and play the house at night, you know. And then there's a lot of life events happening after that, good and bad. And I got a bit more inspiration to write songs in my late 20s. I think I was 29 when I wrote my very first song.
Right.
So I was really late on in the game. You know.
Can you give me an example of where you found inspirations for your songs? And is there anything that inspires you about Ayrshire when you're writing your songs?
Inspiration for the songs started like not here, but it wasn't in Ayrshire at the time, you know. So it was in my late 20s when I wrote my first song, you know. And I was staying up in Inverness at the time.
Right.
A lot of inspiration came from my dad, who was a guitarist, singer-songwriter as well, but he wasn't that ambitious, didn't do that much with it, but he was a great player, you know. But we moved up to Inverness sort of in the 90s kind of thing, when I was in my 20s. And I think the folk that inspired me up there was my dad, obviously, you know, and people from that area, Inverness, Portmahomack, Tane, all the way up to Thurso kind of area. It's an area where like folk are so into their music, you know. There's maybe not any great big names that come from there, but it's like, you know, back then it was like you'd have a lot of music festivals and stuff before it was fashionable like it is now.
Aye.
But it tended to be, it was a bit more low key. You'd find out about the festivals like 2 or 3 days before they were happening. You would head out there. But there's a lot of great players, you know, especially for the kind of rootsy type of music, blues, country, Americana stuff, even jazz, you know. It's good music there. So initially, yeah, it's out that way. But Ayrshire, that's more of a recent thing when I came back here.
So do you think that's why you like touring up there? Because you're always up there.
There's a lot of good bands from up that area and a lot of great musicians, you know. In Inverness it was Billy Morrison for the kind of jazz music, Andy Gunn for the blues. These guys were amazing, you know. And then up Portmahomack we get Jimmy the Hat, the Low Flyers. And none of these are like big names in it, but it's all people that are just like real inspirational and everybody knows who they are. That way, you know.
Yeah. So did you get a good support here in Ayrshire, and when you go up to Thurso and do your tours? It
starts at a ground level, you know, with the musicians themselves, who I think have kind of knocked out some of the old school promoters, and kind of in some ways taken over the scene, you know. And there's a really, really good scene here in Ayrshire. It's better than I ever remember it right now. This is it. It's as good as I ever remember it, especially particularly for the singer-songwriter kind of genre. But there's a lot of great bands here as well. You know. But what I would say is mostly inspiring about Ayrshire just now is just the attitude of like the musicians in general. And the great scene that everyone's embracing at the moment, because not everywhere you go's got that, you know. Or I don't know if it is just a young thing. A lot of young ones are so aware today of the benefits of social media and networking through Facebook and stuff like that they're there to help each other out, you know. Because I can remember the day in Ayrshire sometimes when some bands just couldn't wait to blow each other off the stage, and it's a case of, you know, it's like that. It's changed. There's much more a community spirit in Ayrshire now.
What advice would you give to someone starting out?
It's a hard one because there is no real formula, is there?
No.
Other than just be yourself, you know.
Be yourself.
There's nothing to be scared of, yeah. Go for it.
Who are your influences?
Well, initially, like, we're talking about the kind of inspiration thing as well. Obviously, my dad was a big influence in my playing. Not because, like, he wasn't that good in the way of, like, you know, when you're passing on skills to someone, he was a bit impatient that way, you know. But he was a great guy, and just I think, just the fact that you know, great music was around the house all the time, and he was such a good player, and he's sitting on the end of the bed every night tuning his guitar before he plays it, and you start to get to know when it's in tune. You go, right, okay, that's it there. As a kid, you know. So these kind of things, I think you're soaking up, even though it's not like direct, like, you know, someone showing you what to do. But yeah, influences aside to that, he brought us up his record collection, which was kind of quite a lot of Americana stuff. Taj Mahal and Ry Cooder and J.J. Cale and stuff like that, so that was kind of ingrained at a very young age, you know. And I spoke about moving up north, and I met a lot of like-minded, there's quite a big scene for that kind of thing up there, so I met a lot of like-minded people. But more recently, by the time I started kind of writing music and stuff, it's starting to change a wee bit. It's less of the Americana thing, more Nick Drake and John Martin, some of the British folk artists, and more recently bands like Iron and Wine, Kings of Convenience, Bonnie Prince Billy, and the kind of new folk music. It's quite a big scene for, you know, acoustic.
What's the most kind of rock and roll moment you've had, you know?
I don't know. The bigger gigs I played with Texas at Celtic Park. That was about 20-odd thousand that was there. It wasn't a full stadium, it was kind of cut off halfway, but it was still a good crowd to what I was used to, you know. A couple of gigs with Paolo Nutini, well, that was a smaller, that was just when Paolo was starting off, so it was King Tut's. And that was with a band called South Beach at the time.
Me and Sean, my brothers obviously, so we started playing in bands when we were like 15, you know, just cover bands. And then, you know, through friends of friends and just stuff like skateboarding with different people, you just meet, like we met Greg through skateboarding really. And then we had a band, and kind of line-up changes happen obviously naturally sometimes in bands, so the bassist's always been a problem with bassists. It's just, unfortunately, I mean, it's just not worked out, because we're still friends with the guys who played bass, both guys who played with the bass with the band, but we needed a new bass player. We took some time off and decided to kind of make a go of it with kind of a full lineup. So we added a different bass player and Ross on keyboard. So it's kind of 5 of us. So that's pretty much it. It's always through friends and friends of friends and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's just it's a character in Celtic mythology, and we were just looking for a good, strong, powerful name. And the character himself doesn't really have any reflection on who we are. It's like when you name a person, the name reflects the person rather than the other way around. And that's kind of what it is for us. We're just wanting a really kind of a powerful name with kind of roots in, you know, Celtic mysticism and stuff like that.
It was a massive moment for us, I think, speaking for everyone. It was it's probably one of those points in a band's, you know, a career, if you call it that. It's like everything stops and then starts. So we feel since winning the Samas, it's been kicked up a notch. Everything's, you know, started to progress quicker than it ever has done before. And it's an amazing amount of recognition to get, you know, because firstly you need to be you need to be in it to win it. So you need to be nominated to be there. So that in itself is, well, it's an achievement in itself really, and then you need to get people to vote. So we tried really hard, we pushed really hard for people to come over. The website was easy to vote, so we tried our best to try and promote it, and we had a great response and a lot of support from, you know, local newspapers and blogs and through Twitter and Facebook and stuff. So we put a lot into it, but to win it was, I mean, it was incredible. It really was, and I think it was really unexpected. Speaking from, you know, personally, I think it was really unexpected.
The amount of years we've been around and just had no shred of recognition, kind of, so it's unusual, but it's welcome and it's nice.
So we're all proud to be from Irvine, and the support, the people who come to our gigs, I'd say 90% of them travel to see us from Irvine and Ayrshire. It's starting to get to the stage now, obviously being more exposed with winning the Summers, that you get people from Glasgow and other areas literally just wanting to come to see you. It's not just your friends anymore, but there's support in Ayrshire is vital for us, you know, definitely.
It's just like it's an all-encompassing thing, like anything that strikes a chord with you, kind of thing. I think it's important to write about things that either you feel strongly about or you know about, because the last thing you want is to be, you know, putting your opinion on something that you don't really have the full picture on. And with this album, I think a lot of it's came from just a sense of belonging, a sense of home, and that's been a kind of running theme in this album.
Yeah, I mean, it's going on from what Sean said, you have to write about what you know. I think, I mean, it's important for, if you're writing a song as a lyricist, I mean, not to sound too, you know, into yourself or whatever, but you need to have experienced, or, you know, you can't write things that you don't understand or you've not experienced. So I think there's a massive theme of like place in this album, and like Sean said, home, you know, because it's important from where we are. And there's certain songs in the album, I mean, if you follow the lyrics, it's quite evident that you're singing about the area you're from, the place you're from, the people that are here. So we tend to write songs about that. I don't think we've ever wrote a song about, you know, an ex-girlfriend or, you know, love in a traditional sense of, you know, in that respect. It's never seemed, I don't want to say this, but it's never seemed important enough for us to write about. Like, there's bigger things and more important things to write about than, you know, just complaining that, you know, no one likes you anymore. Because a lot of bands, that is, you know, quite a lot of the material is based on that heartbreak and stuff, but I think most of our songs are quite positive, I would say.
Originality. Like, there's no point in doing something that's already been done unless you're going to do it very, very well. If you want to kind of make it, like, I think being original is everything really, trying to create something different, something fresh, and not just doing something because it's cool at a particular time, or like, would you agree?
Definitely.
Yeah, totally.
You can't, I mean, there are bands that just do things that other bands have done before, which is completely fair enough if it works for them. I would say, I mean, it's hard for us to give advice, to be honest, without, you know, sometimes if we made
it's a continual process, kind of, you're always learning.
I listen to songs in the album we've just wrote, and I wish I had changed a certain part. I mean, I think to be writing songs, I think you always think like that. So you've never perfected your art. I mean, I don't think anyone will ever say that.
You're constantly like striving, like, to become better.
And I think the more you write, you know, the better stuff you write. Definitely, you know, the more stuff, you know, and you bring it to other people if they like it. Just, it's a continual process.
We've all got, like, I think every single person has, like, quite a vastly different kind of musical taste. I'm into a lot of progressive rock, kind of 70s older progressive rock, as well as some modern stuff. A lot of kind of alternative 90s stuff as well.
Well, I'm quite into that as well, but where I would differ from Greg, I like a lot of kind of Scottish folk music, Irish folk music, and wee bits of that kind of tend to creep into the music.
It's worth mentioning with me and Sean, like the heavy stuff.
Yeah,
Did you
of
like
course. I'm kind of probably in the middle of everything there. I like a lot of Scottish music and Irish music. We're half Irish, so obviously you get that kind of influence with that. Callum and Ross, obviously, who aren't here, they listen as well as what Sean and Greg have said. They listen to completely different things as well. So I think that's probably, if you put it on to a pot and boil it down, that's hopefully the sound that we create. Is you can hear bits of quite a lot of things. We like making music that, you know, we like first and foremost, and it's great if other people like it. And there's a lot of people getting it, you know, now, which is amazing. But I think we don't really want to be a prog rock band.
No.
Don't want to be a folk rock band. It's about getting that mix, and there are certain people who just really like the mix.
That is the house that we're in at the moment. Oldest house in Irvine, obviously, and I think that picture's taken 1907 or something like that. Still got the thatched roof and stuff like that. And just cause, you know, we mixed a lot of it, we recorded some of it in this house. We thought it was really cool to just have it on the front cover. And aye, it's a good memory for us, kind of thing. So
Nowadays, when CDs are becoming, you know, in a couple of years, probably people won't even want to go and buy CDs at all.
Yeah.
So to have it, I mean, I've always been a fan of bands who have got really good artwork. You know, you can see the lyrics, but sometimes you can't make them out. It's it was amazing to have a first album, like to see it printed, and we got them sent to us, like a good couple of hundred, and they were sitting out the front garden with in boxes, you know, the postage just left them, and it was incredible just unboxing them and leafing through, thinking that you've created this.